joined November, I think I started some project, cloud security for a Azure foundations. I mean, they're building up a Azure foundations for one of the client, for Japanese client. So where I got involved in the project in designing the landing. I mean, I haven't involved in designing or anything, but I know like how the process was. So they have initially conducted workshops with the customer to provide like I mean, and the applications the customer was having applications in the IBM cloud. So the ask was to migrate from IBM cloud to the Azure cloud. So as part of it, like we the TCS team conducted 5 to 6 workshops explaining different areas like subscriptions, security components, and DevSecOps, how would it be implemented? Like that, there are 5 to 6 areas how they would be implemented. I mean, just to give them a customer understanding of how the Azure works actually, Azure landing zones, Azure infra, Azure. I mean, like they wanted to migrate it, and so we explained them, and then they actually built everything, but I just supported them as part of the HLD, high level document, high level design, low level design, and they also designed the as per that they have designed. So that's where I got the exposure. I just gave this for the I got the exposure for the security Azure cloud deployment or Azure cloud security architecture implementation like that. The next project I got work with some healthcare application wherein like the customer is migrating from on-premise to the Azure cloud. Okay, so we are tracking the vulnerabilities across on-premise. I mean the cloud vulnerabilities and cloud configuration vulnerabilities, and then SaaS, DAST, and pen testing, and all these areas. We are supporting the compliance related areas also, like ISRO is there. Uh, so cloud security review also customer was doing, and we were asking the respective applications teams to implement the recommendations. We are tracking and we are asking the team to implement. So this project also I didn't get the hands on actually. I mean, I got the exposure since last 1 year, but I'm not getting the hands on roles. Anytime like I'm doing some kind of documentation or some kind of SME role, I mean, where I'm asking them to do like this, like that, but I don't have hands on actually. So right now that I wanted to take the full-fledged architect role, I also wanted to get I mean from the outside real-time experience, also real in the real world, like what kind of interview questions they would be asking, or what kind of implementations I should be doing for all these things. So that's where I have some I need some real-time exposure actually, instead of just I mean, now also I'm just doing it by myself actually. So whenever somebody came, like I'll check the documentation and I'll guide them. I'm guiding them. But as the person with the real-time experience, that might give some real value while I'm giving external interviews. So something that's I thought in that manner. So we were needing some help from the real-time expert. So Jagan connected with us, connected both of us. Yeah.
So which part of cybersecurity you want to get into? So let me break it down for you. If you look at cybersecurity as a whole, see, security architecture is more of a misnomer. It's not something which actually exists. This is basically organizations creating roles which
Mm.
sits as an intersection of different areas of cybersecurity. So predominantly, if you look at cybersecurity, there are about 4 to 5 pillars. One is your offensive security, application security, red team, security assessment, which essentially is done to make sure that we try to break into the system on our own rather than anybody doing it on our behalf. So this is the one that deals with vulnerabilities. This is the one that will deal with application security, red team assessment, and all of that. So this is the offensive part of it. The second pillar is defense, wherein you use your SIM solutions, endpoint detection solutions, network security solutions. The idea is that you have a team in case there is an attack or in case there is a breach. This is the team which is going to protect, detect, protect, monitor, your environment, and then in case something goes wrong, they are going to help you build the resilience. So it will help you to respond to an incident, it will help you to respond to a crisis, come out of the incident, so on and so forth. The third one, which essentially is governance, risk, and compliance, it is something which is almost like an umbrella service line, which is where all the policies, the security policies, the application policies, all of those policies, how do you do risk management? So, information security is essentially not a technology function. What you need to understand it, it's a risk function. The heart of cybersecurity is not technology, but risk management. Right now, there is a lot of buzz. It is being used as a technology function. In a lot of organizations, you'll see cybersecurity rolling up to the chief technical officer or the CTO. But if you look at any of the global organizations or large banks in India and abroad, information security is essentially part of the risk management function. So governance, risk, and compliance is that very team which stitches all the policies. It ensures that the entire information security or the cyber security team operates within a certain guidelines. And let's say, for an example, you are going ahead with any cloud deployment or any security deployment. There's a bunch of policies that needs to be written. Sorry, so there's a bunch of
Bala,
policies that needs to be written.
sorry, Nabo, one thing. Bala, when you are not talking, maybe mute it. It is easy. It is easy. Yeah. Okay.
And that's okay.
Continue, Nabo.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I did.
And that's okay. Thank you. The other one, which is now becoming an extremely important vertical across a lot of security teams, is your data security policy. Rather, I mean, a data security team. It's essentially a subset of your application security as well as your defensive security. The reason why data security has been carved out
Sorry for
of a lot
interrupting.
of
Yeah, Jagan,
organizations.
can you record it if you don't mind?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, doing it.
So data security is essentially because there's a lot of data security guidelines both at Europe as well as in India as well, with the DPDP guidelines coming in. You'll see a lot of orgs setting up their independent data security policy and all of that. The next one, which is what Jagan does, is identity and access management. Again, it is one of those four very important pillars within cybersecurity, which is where you deal with identity and access. If you historically, cyber attacks have been happening at perimeter, which means it was targeting the firewalls, the IPS, IDS, those, and then after a few years, we realized that the attackers are not just attacking the perimeter, they are coming inside and they are attacking the endpoints, which is where you see 5 7 years back a lot of endpoint security solutions were designed and developed. You'll see your antiviruses coming up, you will see a lot of EDR solutions coming up, you will see a lot of endpoint solutions, targeted endpoint solutions coming up. And now we are at a stage where the attackers are no longer focusing on perimeter, or they are not focusing on the endpoint. They are actually targeting the user and their identities. So which is why in last 2 to 3 years, identity security or identity and access management security has become one of the most important and talked about aspect within cybersecurity. So these are the 4 to 5 pillars of cybersecurity which technically exist. Now, what does a security architect do? The responsibility of a security architect depend on what is your okay. Apart from these 4 or 5 things, there are few sub verticals which exist, which are nothing but combination of some of these verticals. Let's say network security or cloud security. Now, when you are doing cloud security, you have to do all of these. You have to do application security. You have to do defensive security. You have to do identity and access management. You have to do GRC. So the broad pillars remain the same. See, how you are going to use these pillars as a part of network security or endpoint security or cloud security or any aspect of your organization. That's the sub vertical or sub pillar. That's how I read into these kind of situations. Now, coming back to what does a security architect do, the role will be very different in terms of what your organization is expecting. Now, let's say if you are security architecting for a cloud migration project, the expectation of a security architect will be very different. If I am doing zero trust, or if I am doing an SIM migration, or any security solution migration or implementation, there the role of security architect will be very, very different. Now, this I don't know how this would be taken. But this is again my reading of the situation, and pardon me for being straight up here. For someone who has not been part of cyber security for at least 10 years or 7 to 10 years, starting as a security architect is not probably the right approach. What I would request, and this is you have somebody, you are somebody with 15 years of experience, so you are almost as experienced as me. So if you have not done cybersecurity for the last 7 8 years or 10 years, starting now is going to be difficult, but it is not impossible. If you are expecting that people will give you hands-on role at this point in time, that is not going to be possible. So you need to pick up areas where you can use your previous technology knowledge, add cybersecurity as an experience layer, and then you become somebody who can be an SME on certain subjects. So you have to pick up out of those 4 5 domains that I talked about, and at least go deep for any one of them. It can be application security, it can be defense, it can be identity and access management. Now, you said you have done performance testing, so you already know a little bit of automation, a little bit of performance testing. So there is a lot of sec devops kind of a project that lies out there, where you can use your previous experience in coding, your previous experience of performance testing, because those are somewhat related. You understand the application, how an application is designed and developed. You understand HLDs, LLDs, you understand the structure of an application. So application security again would be a great area for you to start. Now, you cannot expect anybody to give you any hands-on work. Let's say, for an example, with 15 years of experience, the customer will not be ready to pay you a 15-year-old salary, because when TCS is going to bill you, TCS is not going to bill you like a 2-year-old candidate. They are going to bill you as a project manager or a 15-year-old experience. So the client will not give you to run check marks or do hands-on pen testing. This is something that you can do on the side. There are multiple such websites which are available, Hack the Box, this and that. You can just Google it out. There is enough such websites where you can go and build, or add those skill sets. But essentially you will not get a lot of opportunity to use those skill set in your real life. So the best idea is you sit with your teams, check what they are doing, be more involved with their deliverables, ask them to explain how they have created a report or what went behind creating a report. That kind of on the job learning will help you. And at the same point in time, what you can do is start reading up and start gaining a little experience on one of these domain, and then you kind of fan out. Because see, if you want to be security architect at this time, there will be a lot of expectations from an interviewer, because they would, and it will also vary. Like, I could have told you, okay, you can go through these 4 5 things and you are good for an interview, but it will all depend on what kind of a security architecture review or security architecture interview that you are applying for. Like, Accenture might call you for a security architecture review, but I mean security architect role, but that role might be related with defensive security. So it is not possible for you to now go back and know what is the design of an SIM, how an SIM gets implemented, what are the different nuances of implementation, what are the 10 different things that you should consider. So it's difficult. Like, it is something that people have learned over a period of 10 years, with all of them working at different layers, doing things hands on. So I understand what you are trying to do, and my best wishes are with you, but you have to be slightly tactical. You can't go for everything right now. So if cloud is an area of your expertise, there are multiple cloud certifications, be it Azure, be it AWS, which is available, that would give you a very, very good basic understanding about how cloud work. And then there are cloud security, content which is already available. You have to keep going through it over a period of next 6 to 8 months. And at the same point in time, while you are doing projects in TCS, like you mentioned about 2, 3 projects, instead of just being an SME or interacting with the client, when the actual deliverables are prepared, go sit with the team and see how they are doing it. I think that's a very quick and great way of learning what you are trying to learn. So I'll take a pause. Let me know your thought, views, and follow-up questions on this.
I understand absolutely. I mean, your whatever saying is a security architecture role is completely different from project to project and client to client. So we were not sure based on the project, you might need to work upon any of these four areas. That's what you are trying to tell me. That's is my understanding correct?
Yeah, it can be an intersection. Let's say, for an
Yeah, yeah.
example, you
Mm-hmm.
might have a project where the client's expectation would be to do a pen testing on any of the identity or access management solution. A lot of organizations, they do not have the budget to buy, let's say, SailPoint or Savient, which are one of the IDM solutions which are available, which Jagan is an expert on. So they would go ahead and build a system of their own, and now they would want the customer would want a TCS or a Wipro or an Accenture to go ahead and do a pen testing. So there, you need to understand how pen testing is designed and how the efforts of pen testing needs to be calibrated. What are the different aspects that needs to be considered? Is there a specific governance guideline that you need to follow? And at the same point in time, you need to understand what are the different aspects of access management as a solution. So there is a lot of learning which is involved, which will happen as and when you progress. But unfortunately, security architect is basically the most premium role that you get after working like 10, 12 years only in security. Then also there's a lot of people who do not go into security architecture role because it's very demanding. I mean, I do not personally have a lot of experience in identity and access management. I am also learning as the day progresses. Zero trust is again something that I am learning for the last couple of years. So if there is any security architecture role that comes my way where I need to use these things, I generally tell them that I'm not the best person, but I have done a lot of application security. I've done a lot of defensive security. So if the conversation is on those side, I have done a lot of data security, network security. So those are my comfort zone. So whenever a security architect conversation happens in those areas, I always raise up my hand. And the other areas, I tell them that I have limited experience, but yes, I have done things. I can, share my views on what could be a best practice.
Yeah, yeah, Nabo. So actually, when we initially had a discussion, I kind of similar thoughts I expressed. But since he has some 15 years of experience, and then the best idea what I gave is to let's start with what you know, and then just see what is adjacent to you instead of jumping into something entirely new.
Hmm.
Just take something very adjacent so you can relate your experience when you're talking, or you will understand also what this particular thing is saying, as his background is application testing or testing. So maybe he was mentioning some SAST dashed also. Those testing, those
So that
areas
is
are.
part of application security, like
Yeah.
that,
Hmm.
which is why if you remember when I
Hmm.
started, I told that would probably be a great area for him to start.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
application security is going to be a good area because he
Hmm.
understands how an application is developed. He
Hmm.
understands three-tier applications. I'm sure he understands Web 3.0 or 2.0 or any
Hmm.
of those full stack development that we are doing right now. He understands a little bit of automation because in both in functional automation as well as performance testing, that knowledge is very, very important. And I'm sure Balkrishna has it. So it's a great area. SaaS, DaaS, these are all part of application security. So good starting point, I would say.
Okay. So Nabo, so when you are talking, let's say last 1 minute, I heard that network security, data security, application security, and you said some other area, right? What is that other one? Uh, Network, data, application.
Endpoint. So it all
Okay.
depends, like how
Yeah.
you are.
So why I am asking? See, here our intention is to gain some expertise in the areas which you are expert into. That is where we get the insights or how things work in the real world. Even for me also, if we talk network, data application security is a kind of though I have a knowledge in terms of experience, I am novice. So maybe if in these areas, if you are able to guide us, network, data, application security, I think that helps both of us. Even that helps me also. So maybe these are the areas we would be looking out for help. So if you can, we can do something like if you are fine, something like a mentoring program or something. So I may also spend some time and try to kind of not exactly kind of a
No
program, but
worries.
yeah.
No worries. So
So
see
those
what we can
areas.
do. What we can do is, see,
Hmm,
application security is, again,
hmm,
application security itself is very broad and it
hmm,
has different kind of pillars. So you will have mobile application
hmm,
security, you have web application security,
hmm,
you have, like he was mentioning, SaaS, DaaS, then there is red team.
hmm,
So there is deception technologies which are
hmm,
being used right now.
hmm,
So even application security is not like a one
hmm,
single thing. It is
hmm,
also a umbrella term that we use for different things. So what
hmm,
I can do is I
hmm,
can give you a understanding about the broad areas,
hmm,
and then what you guys can do is go read up about these
hmm,
areas. I
hmm,
can give you certain links, or like you can
hmm,
go
hmm,
and
hmm,
go a chat GPT, you will get enough content.
hmm,
After going through the content for maybe 5 days or 7 days, you
hmm,
guys can write down some of the questions and
hmm,
queries that you had, which
hmm,
you think is unresolved or you
hmm,
want me to double down. Because
hmm,
right now, for me to take deep sessions, that's slightly impossible right
hmm,
now.
hmm, hmm,
But what I can do is, if you have got a limited 5-10 questions that you want me to go through, you can send me those questions
hmm,
couple of days in advance so that I can also prepare myself so that I can give you the best answers. I can go through those questions and then answer those queries or those open issues that you are still facing after doing the reading up.
Okay, yeah, that sounds nice. So what we can do, so as you said,
Just give
um,
me 10 seconds. 1 second.
yeah.
Yeah, Jagan, please tell me.
What I was saying is yes, uh, the especially as I told, our intention is to uh, get the guidance on especially what areas you are expert into, let's say data and application endpoint. So maybe in the next discussion, whenever it is possible to you, in the data application endpoint security and network security, just give us kind of a guideline. So these are the areas where our organizations use these technologies, these what you say skills are most important in this area. So those areas we'll start off, and we'll try to focus on those areas rather than, let's say, if you say data security, rather than reading everything on the data security, but these are the areas most widely used in the organizations. Those we start and try to focus on them. Then once we are kind of got very good understanding on these concepts, then we slowly expand our knowledge. So that would be the good starting point for our next session. And also, if you already have something like a mentoring program or something, because I see that your that portal you have some services, but if you have a service like a mentoring program, or you can design something where you can cover all these areas, it is a long term. We want to travel it for let's say 3 months or 6 months, and understand and learn entirely practical perspective, rather than just going through the documentation and learning YouTube videos, all that. There is a world of knowledge, but gaining
Yeah, yeah.
practical knowledge is what we are now focused into. So either, yeah, next thing is to just give us a, what you say, the roadmap or the direction on starting of these areas. And then if you have some program like that, mentoring, be it 3 months or 6 months, I think we are happy to join that.
Pick that. ठीक है, Jagan. Let me work on that. I'll keep in touch with you. Okay.
Okay, okay. So shall we
Okay.
have some discussion maybe next week or whenever it is possible to you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll
I'll
just
I'll just yeah, because today is already 26. I
hmm,
think
hmm, hmm,
next 3 4 days people will be on break.
hmm,
We'll connect 3rd or 4th of Jan, and
hmm,
I'll start coming from to
hmm,
office.
hmm, hmm.
During that time, we can we can connect and we can set up a date the first week of Jan. Yeah.
Okay, fine, fine. So meanwhile, as you said, he had some questions, even I also some questions. Maybe 2 3 lines or 4 lines. We will send you that. Maybe if you
Yeah, yeah.
can do
Whatever
something or
whatever questions you
hmm,
have, you
hmm,
can just put it on an email and send it out to me
hmm,
before the next call,
hmm,
so that when we meet for the next time, I
hmm.
can be prepared for those questions and I can answer better with links and everything.
Okay, okay, fine, fine,
And
fine.
Nabo, sorry for interrupting. I will speak for only 2 minutes. Nabo, if you just
Sure,
if
sure.
you yeah, if you ask me, like I am actually working as an architect on Azure security architect only. So even though I don't have a broader experience with the tools available, chat GPTs and the other co-pilots and everything. I mean, whenever the people comes to me with some problem, I mean, this is the vulnerability we have. I mean, I'm suggesting the solution also. If they have any IAM related issue, I'm suggesting the solution also. Because I mean, right now what I'm doing is whenever they come up with some issue, I'm exploring that time. Okay, I don't have a base in my brain, or I don't have that experience, but I'm still responding because of the world of knowledge available readily for all of us. Okay, with the experience, I even if you see me, I have a 15 years of experience. I can manage the things. I can manage the things, but it now only what is the that we are looking for is we wanted to build the real time experience instead of working on the on demand, depending every time on the on demand searching and getting the information. So we wanted to have the good basic knowledge, basic working knowledge of the things which will be used for the 80% of the applications. Say for example, there is a Pareto principle. Okay, 80% of the work can be done with 20% of the knowledge.
Unfortunately, there is no Pareto in cybersecurity. It
Mm.
does not work. There is no 20% knowledge that you can use for 80% of the time. I am really sorry. Like for an
Mm.
example, if
Mm.
I sit for an application security interview today, I
Mm.
know for a fact that I will not clear it because I have not done application security for last 2 to 3 years or 4 years. I have not
Mm.
done.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
there is no 80-20 principle here. It is an
Okay, okay.
extremely
Yeah. Mm.
intense,
Mm.
and what you are expecting, let me be very very honest, on day zero it is not possible.
Mm.
If you think that there is some kind of a magic pill that we can go for 6 months, and after that all the questions that people are going to come and bring to you, you would have an answer for that,
Mm. Mm.
let me say it is not going to be possible.
Okay, okay. That's fine.
It is
That's
not
clear.
going to be possible because the answers that, even the questions, if you go ahead and ask me a certain question on AWS and Azure right now, I will
Mm.
also have to go and see and then answer. But if you
Mm.
ask me a fundamental question on how a cloud security program needs to be designed, I can give
Mm.
you those broad guidelines. But there are certain tactical conversation, there are certain operational aspects which even I don't remember, I don't recall, or I don't know. There is a
Mm.
possibility that I don't even know. Let's say, for an example of Google Cloud, I have never
Mm.
worked on Google Cloud. So, tomorrow, if there is a Google Cloud migration project that I need to be a security architect for, I would also have to go back and read. So, what you are telling me is, if your expectation is in 6 months, or 3 months or 6 months, you would have that 80% knowledge. The answer to that, it is not possible. You would barely scratch the surface after 6 months. Yes, what I can do is I can give you those building blocks, I can give you those Legos, that how a certain kind of a conversation needs to be understood, or a certain kind of a, if it is application security, what are the different aspects that you need to be aware of. But to going deep down on each of these aspects, these are all 1 year, 2 year experience that you need to collect. So that's just the reality of it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
so sorry, but
What
So
that's just the
yeah,
what
reality
is
of it.
Legos you're talking about? Legos, you say?
blocks like building
Legos, I mean
blocks.
building blocks.
Okay, okay, fine. Yeah, yeah,
So
that is absolutely
mm,
fine. We
mm,
understand it actually. We understand the building blocks are basic things I mean, when you expect you expect something very basic, right? When you talk to somebody else from the performance or security background, you expect some basic knowledge or basic awareness of the things, right? So those things, yeah, I mean, it should be in a I mean, whenever the other guy talks to you, I mean, it should make sense to you. I mean, from there he should able to explore the things. I mean, it's not that he shouldn't be having that basic knowledge or something like that. You put us on help us building that base strong.
mm,
I
yeah.
understand. I understand whatever you are saying.
Yeah, but that is not a 3 to 6 month, and unfortunately, that is not a 3 to 6 month program, because there are aspects of application security that I don't even know. I have not done mobile application security after iOS 7 or iOS 8. Now we are at iOS 17 or 18. I don't know, whatever iOS version is going on. So the
Mm,
application security concepts, the checklists and everything must have changed between iOS 6 and iOS 17. So that's all I'm trying to tell you. It is a
mm,
extremely demanding field, and to go deep on any of the aspect requires at least 5 to 10 years of dedicatedly working on that. Unfortunately, you have been doing something else. Let's say, for an example, if I try to get into performance testing right now, I will have a very very hard time getting into, because I will never have the practical understanding of what you have been doing for last 15 years. So it is very very similar. Is just that performance testing is like one unit of knowledge. Cyber security is essentially 40 to 50 different units of knowledge all put together, and each of those units are extremely demanding. So which is why I'm saying, you pick up a certain specialization, you pick up a certain area, we can go deep on that. There's no harm in doing it. But my reading of the market is that with somebody who is 15 years of experience, 16 years of experience, you will not be asked to do these things. You will be asked to do which is more strategic in nature, which is more tactical in nature, rather than okay, आप जाके किसी एक system का vulnerability report
mm,
निकालो, या how
mm,
do you solve a vulnerability.
mm,
Anybody with lesser years of experience can do that.
mm,
So a client is not going to bill you for doing something which a six-year-old experienced guy can do. That's
mm.
that's what I am thinking.
Correct, correct. Okay. So especially on those areas only, like let's say the areas that you are expert into, data application endpoint. So there we would be needing guidance, as you said, strategic or the thing that we have to,
Tactical,
yeah,
tactically.
tactical. So those areas definitely would like to kind of
And
take your experience and then try to learn more. That's the intention. And also you want to start a journey, then initial in this journey, if you have some guide like you, so that
no
it will
worries.
become
I'll
easy.
try to
Yeah, it will
share
become easy
whatever
rather than
understanding you have.
simply going into some documents and
No, no, I
reading.
understand.
That will not help much. So this
It
is,
is
if
difficult.
we want to start a journey, obviously we don't want to become expert after 6 months. I think I don't know, we will not become expert also, but at least we started a journey after some, let's say,
Yeah,
6 months.
it's an enjoyable
Hmm.
learning thing.
After
I'll
six
also
months we
go
would
back
be in
and
a better position than
yeah, yeah,
today.
yeah,
Than
Yeah,
today,
absolutely,
than today,
yeah,
than
that's
today.
our
absolutely.
intention. That's our intention.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that, see, I don't want both any of you to have an expectation after talking to me for 35 minutes that something is gonna
Hello?
change,
Yeah.
something is gonna change
Hmm.
randomly or matlab, very quickly,
Hmm.
or something is gonna change drastically.
Correct.
Neither of that is going to happen. So I don't want I don't want both of you guys to walk away from this conversation with an expectation which is not correct, because
Correct.
it's not fair. Both of you are peers and both of you are extremely talented
Hmm.
individuals. I do
Hmm.
not want both of you guys to walk away with
Hmm.
something which is not true, and hence I prefer being honest
Hmm. Of
uh,
course. Yeah. We
with
understood.
with
Hmm.
with whatever I wanted to say.
Yeah. 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 We were also into similar mindset and expectation. Yeah. Things are kind of clarified more with your discussion. So let's start a journey and see what better we can do. Let's say 3 months or 6 months. That's our.
Sure, sure,
Let's
sure, sure.
let's go with that like that.
I'm 100% sure with the efforts that you guys are putting in, after 6 months, you will be at a much better place
Hmm.
than what you are.
Hmm. Hmm.
But would you guys become an expert in any
Hmm.
of the things that we are doing?
No.
That is something that we'll have to
Hmm.
figure out over
Hmm.
a period of time.
Hmm.
If we
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
pick up one or two things, there is a chance that you guys would have a good grip on those one or two things. But
Hmm.
for somebody like both of you with so much years of experience,
Hmm.
there is not a lot of merit in going really deep into any of the domains, rather than scratching the broad domains, and then you can use your knowledge,
Hmm.
your previous experience, and your
Hmm.
current knowledge to stitch those different domains together in your head, so that
Hmm.
whenever there is a conversation which is happening with a senior stakeholder or with customer, you can present them a much more comprehensive view,
Hmm.
rather than talking at a very selective or at a very positional aspect.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. So then, Nabo, if you have time now, I just have one more question. Do you have time, or you have to hurry for something?
These guys, I'll have to probably leave. Is this a long question?
No, no, no. It's just a short one.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. Go ahead.
So what I mean, even in my, I have been attending some interviews, right? So what question I get is obviously, apart from I am also, there are many things I have been asked about data security. I have been asked about network security, all those things. Let's say I have been honestly saying that I haven't worked on network security, but I know the basics of it. I didn't work on data security. I know basics of it. Will that work for our like our experience, or do we have to go a little deeper and say that yes, I have done something on the data security. I understand nitty-gritties of it, or network security. I understand nitty-gritties of it. Is Does it work the second way
Mm,
as I told, or initially just say, honestly
It
saying
depends on the no, it
honestly?
depends on the role and the interviewer. See,
Hmm.
I always go back and tell that I know one of these,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
defense and offense, I know to
Hmm.
a deep extent.
Hmm.
But if the expectation is to go ahead, if the interviewer is expecting me to know nitty-gritties of identity and access management, I don't know it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, that's the reality that I
Hmm.
have, and that's the
Hmm.
reality that the interviewer, because see, it is cracking the interview is the easiest part, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I can crack an interview by doing some side hack. I can read for 2 nights and
Mm,
then, give them some words that they are trying to listen
mm,
and all of that.
mm,
The real test is if I go into a next organization and if I have to deploy Savient
mm,
for 100,000 users,
mm,
and if I don't even know how Savient looks like and how
mm,
it operates and what are the practical challenges of
mm,
implementing Savient,
mm,
I will be caught napping
mm,
then.
mm,
So clearing an interview is the most easy thing.
mm,
So
mm,
I never sit for interviews or I never try for interviews at areas where I'm not comfortable
mm,
in terms of delivering that actual work. So I
mm,
always ask at the start of the interview to,
mm,
if the JD is not clear,
mm,
ask them that what do you want me to do for the next 6 months or 1 year. And if
mm,
it is something that I am confident of delivering, I appear. Else I politely tell them that I probably am not the best person for this role. If there is anything else in the area where I am more comfortable or I have more exposure, let me know. I don't mind having a crack at that. So
mm, mm.
I don't take those risks यार, मुझे थोड़ा डर लगता है.
Okay, okay. Fine, fine. Bala, before we close, do you have any question? We'll close it.
Yeah, I think we are having a discussion in the right direction. Yeah, I mean that is fine. I mean, it will
Okay,
help
okay.
us to build better than today. Not like any
Expert,
expectation,
not be,
but
not
better
becoming
than today.
expert.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't want to
yeah,
become expert, but become better.
yeah. Improvement day by day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
day week by week or month by month. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing much. Yeah,
Okay, okay, Nabo. So I think you
Thank
are
you
in
so much,
hurry. We'll
guys.
we'll we'll close
Have a
this.
great day ahead
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Happy New Year to both of you.
yeah.
I'm sure we'll
Thank you, Nebo. Nice,
catch up
nice
again. No
talking to
worries.
you, and hope we'll continue
Pleasure,
our
pleasure, pleasure,
mentorship.
pleasure.
Yeah,
Pleasure is all
Okay,
mine.
okay,
Thank you so
okay,
much,
yeah.
Jagannath.
okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
bye.
Yeah, thanks.